This meeting is being recorded.
Hello. Happy Monday. Just 2 minutes, see if anybody else joins us. We will get started. Well, it may be a small group today. That's okay. Everybody can hear me, yes? Thumbs up. Yes. Kate, you're the only beautiful face I can see. So. All right, beautiful. Okay, everybody has the calendar. Do you need me to drop the link in the chat? Drop the link in the chat, yes? Okay. There we go. You're welcome. I am gonna go ahead and share my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen. Good. Okay, perfect. So if you've never been to one of these, basically what I do really quickly is I run through the calendar over the prompts, kind of get things moving in our heads a little bit, get our creative juices flowing, and then I open end the call for questions if you want feedback on a particular post, an upcoming post, if you want some more squared away ideas for a prompt, whatever comes to mind, I am here for you. So we are going to just kick things off. So this is your June calendar. The link is in the chat. If you don't have it, it should be in your email. Again, if you don't have it, message Brooke or I, and we will get it to you. So we're going to kick off with Monday the 3rd. And we just want you to go ahead and tease a session that you've had in just the last week. And with that, you're going to talk about your availability for the summer. Now, we know that the plan is to book well ahead, right? And so if you don't have any availability left for your summer calendar, mention that and then go ahead and tease when your fall calendar is going to drop. Tuesday the 4th is talk about what you're excited about for summer. Make this a personal post. Brooke and I, sometimes we get on here and we realize that we make it very business forward, which is right because you own a business, but we also want you to connect with your audience. And a lot of times they're more likely to connect with a post when it is a personal post. So Tuesday the 4th, you're going to share what you are, we've got people coming in here, I'm sorry. Share what you're most excited about for the summer personally. Wednesday the 5th is an engagement. So you're going to ask, do you have a vacation plan for the summer? And if so, where are you going? You're just asking your audience that. You can do this with a post. You can share some kind of post. You can do this in your stories, however you want to do this. Then Thursday the 6th is 3 summer outfits for your ideal client. We all know that that is our clients, one of their number one struggles is, but what will I wear? So share 3 of your favorite summer outfit ideas. Make this fitting to your niche. Friday the 7th is feature a local business or venue. And then your call to action is ask your audience to follow them. This is a great way, you guys, I cannot emphasize this enough, for you to collab and grow in your local area because you are promoting other local businesses. Monday the 10th is behind the scenes. We want you to do it packing your camera bag. This can be a simple reel. This can be a carousel with just 2 slides before, and then they swipe and they see the after. However you want that to look. Tuesday 11th, straightforward, client testimonial. Wednesday the 12th, We want you to give advice to your ideal client. So again, we want this to be to your niche. So perhaps this is postpartum. This is to your mothers. So maybe it's going to be a postpartum advice. You could do how to use your branding images if you're a branding photographer, and then days when momming is hard. Again, motherhood, family, etc. Thursday the 13th, reminder to clients, order prints and products from their gallery. This is super important. Again, I always remind you guys as a non-photographer myself, it's super important for somebody to actually remind me to get those things off of just a digital gallery, right? Tell me what I can do with them. Give me some ideas. And if you do the prints and products yourself, this is a great time to run a 20% off sale. I'm gonna mute Kimberly. Okay, there we go. Friday the 14th. What are you looking forward to for the weekend? Again, this is one of those personal posts. So you've got a weekend coming up. What exactly are you looking forward to? Monday the 17th, share what your favorite pose or prompt is, plus why it's your favorite, and then use that pose or prompt in the image you're sharing it with. Tuesday the 18th is an engagement. What is your go-to morning? You guys, that's so straightforward and simple. It should be one of those quick things you can post up in your stories and move forward. Wednesday the 19th, we want to create a reel scrolling a finalized gallery, and then we want you to use a client testimonial as your caption. Thursday the 20th, this is your promo, so you're going to share your final dates or spots for upcoming session availability. Again, if you are booked out through the summer, celebrate the mess out of yourself and go ahead and tease that fall calendar, okay? Friday the 21st, show off a recent location that you loved. This does not have, you don't have to give the exact location. You can just show like the trees, the flowers, whatever it is, and then tell them why you loved it. Monday the 24th, here's what happens after you book. You're walking them through that client experience. So what happens right after they book? Tuesday the 25th, you're going to invite your followers to join your email list for all upcoming fall calendar release. If you don't have an email list, maybe you have a Facebook group, you're going to invite them there. If you don't have either one of them, you're just going to make sure that they are tuning into where you're currently promoting this and making sure that they're tracking when you release that. Wednesday the 26th, you're going to answer a frequently asked question. Take that number one question you guys always receive. Outside of pricing, don't make it about pricing. Something else, make it fun and answer that question. Thursday the 27th, you're going to ask them to tell you which image is their favorite. So you're going to make this a carousel. And then your audience is going to comment 1, 2, 3, 4, however many images you put within that carousel. You could make this like maybe you're doing a family session and you took a whole bunch of candids with the siblings or whatever, you could do that. I've seen this done with like black and white and color. You can do it however you want to do it. It's just an engagement question to get your audience involved. And then that final Friday in June, you're going to talk about your editing style and show it with recent images you've taken. So talk about your editing style. You're going to like explain what it is because again, as a non-photographer, if I wasn't in the photography world, I know that there's a difference between like those, light and airy and bold and bright or whatever, but I wouldn't be able to tell you what they were. So let your audience in on that. What is your editing style? Maybe include why it's your editing style and then show it off with some recent images. Okay, so that is June. I'm not going to go over July. We kind of want you guys to do that one on your own, but it is in here for you guys. It's already uploaded, ready to go in your calendar. Okay, so today we want to focus on. So I'm going to open the door up. Any questions, feedback, or things going, anything at all? We're going to go from there, and then obviously down and be planning while you're going through some of these prompts. If you need me to scroll down to a different date, if you need me to stop sharing my screen and just have a conversation, I can do that too. Y'all let me know. Don't be shy. This is our last one until August. Use it up. I'll talk about this first. How are summer bookings going for everybody? I'll open it up with a question. You guys can give me some talk. Shelby says, do you think reels are still getting the most traction versus static posts? I do not believe that. I'm not saying completely give up on reels. I think it should be part of your strategy. But I've said this before and I will continue to say it. I truly believe that what performs best is going to depend on what your audience prefers. So for me on Instagram, my audience prefers a carousel post. Those are the posts that get the most engagement, the most everything. I probably post one reel every 7 days, and I post 3 times a week. So that's where I am. A lot goes into reels. You guys know this. We've been doing it long enough to know trending audio, time of day, all the things. But don't put all your baskets in or all your eggs in one basket that is reels. Does that help, Shelby? Yes, yes. And also, something that I've also noticed on a personal note, don't overcomplicate them either. So, like my personal opinion, when I am scrolling, the reels where people are like doing the dancing and all of those things, I don't even pay attention to those anymore. I just scroll on by them. I am more of the B-roll where it's just like them randomly doing something in the background with the wording over it than I am anybody trying to dance or otherwise. So take that into consideration too. Anybody else? Let's go back to summer bookings. How are those going for everybody?
So, uh, I have 0 bookings for this summer, but I'm also moving in 2 weeks to a new state.
Okay.
So my question is, let me think of how I want to with I'm starting over, basically trying to get a whole new clientele. How do I do that?
Okay. So I'm going to give you my answer to this, and I'm also going to, here in a minute, stop sharing my screen and look up all of the resources broadcast for this, because I think she has like 2 or 3 podcast episodes specifically on this. But as a military spouse who totally gets this, um, I know I'm going, and the idea of the location we're going to be, I go and input like myself into those communities. Like even there, I join those groups and all of those things, and just start a name there. It doesn't have to be like super like your name there for your career. That's my answer. And here's what I'm going to go podcast. Do you want to on how I know also someone that moves?
I've done this twice now. And I will say the first time I had no idea what I was doing. And so it took me, I don't even think I ever really gained traction. It was just really, really hard for me to do that. And I feel like I just didn't really put myself out there enough because I was afraid to put myself out there. And again, not even just with the salesy kind of posts, but also trying to build that real relationship connection community aspect, and I still struggle with that. I'll be super honest. Like I really do have to force myself to be like, this is not about sales, this is not about bookings, this is literally about creating a community so that everyone benefits, you know. But I will say what I did the second time that I moved that actually did get me bookings and has gotten me traction is getting in the mom groups in my area. And yes, I moved to a huge metroplex, so there is a shit ton of mom groups. Like there's a lot of mom groups. I am in, I want to say, over 150 mom groups. Like it is insane. My Facebook feed is stupid like that. But I have a posting schedule too that I have not been keeping up with this year because I wanted to see what marketing looked like without that. But for the first year consistently posted every single day, and it was a salesy ad. It was not just about community, but it like had elements of like, I see you, I see where you're at, I understand where you are. I'm also a mom, you know, like whatever it was that I could build that connection with someone in that mom group. And I would literally post every day in different mom groups that would allow certain posts on certain days. And I would post every single day. And I did that for over a year. And it helped me feel like I was actually doing something and not just sitting here waiting for the bookings to come to me, because I had already done that and I knew that would work really well. And then B, it really did put my name out there. Like, I have had so many people say, hey, you know, I found you through Facebook. That's usually how I get people. I found you through Facebook, and you were the one that understood where I was coming from, and that put that I could find you. Like all these others, they just couldn't find those other people. So if you can make yourself available and you can make yourself relatable and connectable to people on that personal kind of level, I feel like it works a lot better. Now, I'm not where I want to be, but I am literally like 150,000 miles closer than I was the first time I did this. And I feel like that was a huge, big change I started doing. And that just kind of like rolled into do better SEO, being better copy, being able to write better emails directly to my audience because I started understanding what they wanted. So I don't know. I feel like you have to start somewhere. I feel like you have to be okay with putting stuff out there that may not be perfect, but you've started somewhere, you know? And then you have to be okay with waiting and being so patient because it really takes so much time. And if you're because I'm a family photographer, like I do family, maternity, newborns. And at the beginning, I literally only did families. And I waited until fall because everyone wants pictures in the fall. And so that's really when I started.
Mhm.
And I mean, I made a lot of money that year, but I also literally I posted every single day directly into the mom groups. And I really didn't, I like put stuff on my page too, and I could have been way more consistent about that. But like, I really did. I just like, I went directly to the mom groups, and that's what I did for over a year, almost 2 years, maybe a year and a half. I don't know. It was a long time. And it takes a lot of like, I don't know. It kind of gets draining after a while, and I get that because that's why I this year was like, okay, let's just see what happens if I don't do that because I'm kind of tired. And it's been okay. It hasn't been terrible, but I feel like I still need to get back into it. So I started doing that this week. But I feel like you just have to give yourself a lot of grace, a lot of patience, and really be able to kind of just push it out there, even though you don't feel like anyone's seeing it or that you're being annoying, because I guarantee you no one's seeing it and you're not being annoying 100%.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I dropped that podcast episode in the chat, and then also something that I want to like reiterate, obviously what Amanda's saying, but also let your current audience in on like the transparency of it, right? So because as people, we know people everywhere. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it just takes that one connection that like, hey, my girl Kate is coming to the area and like she's amazing. You know what I mean? So let them in on that transparency of the move and like invite them to tell their people. Does that make sense? If you know
Yeah.
anybody in this area, like I would love for you to shout my name out or whatever. You know what I mean? Don't be scared to like ask for that connection or to be implemented into the network, I guess. That was a great question. And again, as a military spouse, I get it, but I don't get it because my business is easier to move. Because I can work with my clients wherever I am. I mean, example, I'm in South Carolina. I have not one single client in South Carolina. So, but as a photographer, obviously, you have to like plant
Yeah.
yourself where you are. So just get ahead of the game. That's the best advice I can give you. And then also just listen to that podcast episode. I think it will really help you.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh, absolutely. Where are you going? Where are you coming from where are you going?
So I'm currently in Pennsylvania, but
Okay.
we are moving to Texas.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm from Texas. That's where I'm from. Love it. Amanda's in Texas. So great. Awesome. Yeah.
Where in Texas?
The Woodlands.
Oh, you won't be close to me. But it is also a really huge metroplex. You're going to find probably just as many, if not more, mom groups that will allow you to post as I did, because I'm up in DFW.
Okay.
So Houston is huge, and the Woodlands is one part of it. And yeah, you'll find lots of mom groups, I promise.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions, thoughts?
I
Shall
do
we use?
one.
Oh, yep. Go ahead,
Sorry.
Amanda. Nope. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I was talking to Brooke the other day with like a coaching call, and we were talking about summer strategies and like social medias and email marketing and like all the things, right? And so what she was saying is that she's going to start doing just like for the summer only, because apparently trends in usage and over like in the meta universe in general is like it's dwindling down right now because summer's coming up, which makes sense. It's not like it doesn't make sense, but so she was saying only posting like once a week on socials, and then like each social, not just like one, but like, and then just doing like emails to really get into their inboxes. Is that something that, I mean, I know you work with her, so I'm sure you guys already have figured this out, but like, is that something that I should do? I don't know. Like, I don't want to make it complicated. If I'm going to put all that work into social media and I only get like 5 views per reel every week in the summertime, I'm not going to do it. Like, that's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
So this is where you have to look at your data, and this is something that Brooke and I have done. We've looked at all the past, like 4 years she and I have been together. So we've gone back and been like, okay, here's the trend. In the summer, nobody in our audience is really hanging out, right? So that's where keeping track of your KPIs, your metrics, all of those things come in so handy, because then you can look back and realize, okay, it is a trend for me that in the summer my audience isn't really hanging out. So that's number one. Number two, I'm always, always, always going to advocate for you guys to do what feels good to you. If you are not going to be on social personally because it's summer and you have better things to do, then your audience is probably not going to be on social because they have better things to do, right? So take that as it is and put forth the effort that you want to put forth. I wouldn't say just like close it up. I wouldn't do that by any means, but you could scale back. There's nothing wrong with scaling back, and then ramping back up for the fall, because we all know that most of you, fall is like your bang out time, right? So take June, take July, sit back, use that as your working on the business versus working in the business time, right? So you're taking that time to really, how am I going to launch my fall calendar? What do I want to do in the fall when I know people are going to book photos? You know what I mean? Those types of things, work on those, and then also like tease that process. Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
Okay.
Because
Okay. And then,
I only have really 1 year to work off of, so it's not like I have, like she does. She has a lot of really good metrics to kind of base a trend off of. I feel like I didn't really know what I was doing last year, so like my metrics are probably like kind of weird anyway. And then yeah, I just don't, 'cause I know last year January and July were my slowest months for sure.
so what I would do, if you know that for sure, what I would do is I would continue on with what you've been doing in June, take July to slow it down, and ramp things back up in August.
Yeah,
And just see what happens.
I don't know if South Carolina is the same as here. I mean, we're kind of the south-ish, but like July and August are definitely our hottest months usually.
Right.
So it makes sense that no one wants to do anything out, like, you know what I mean? No one wants to get dressed and put on all this clothes and go outside and like try to be snugly in the heat and the sweaty shit that's outside. So like it makes sense.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, so I'll try to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just
Something
trying to figure out like,
something that you could do if you
yeah,
need bookings, right? Like that's something else. Is like
yeah,
if you don't need as many bookings in the summer, back way off, right? If you still need the bookings in the summer, then what I would do is come up with a way to tell your audience, look, I know it's hot as HE double hockey sticks outside. I get it. But here's something that I can do for you. We can make this snip snap. Come in, get your stuff, get out. Like it doesn't have to, maybe your summer sessions aren't an hour long. Maybe they're 30 minutes. You know, it's something to
yeah.
like counteract that
Here's okay.
that objection, because essentially that's what that is. I mean, my family and I have done it in the middle of blazing West Texas August before. So
Yeah,
if they want them, they will do them, but maybe entice them a little. Does that make sense?
yeah. And
That's something else you could do.
I thought about doing like lakeside or creekside or something where it's like in the water and things like that too.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot, and I get that. I really do.
Yeah.
'Cause no one wants to be out there and sweat everything off, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I will definitely try to do that. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, Shelby, I saw your comment in the chat that bookings for summer are not going well. Talk to me about it. Like, what's happening? What do you feel is happening? Oh, okay. Just drop it in the chat and I'll come back to you, okay? Anybody else have anything to say? Thoughts, questions, otherwise? Oh, okay. I'm hoping that those of you that I can't see their beautiful faces are planning and working. Shelby says, not sure. I've not booked anything at all this year. I feel like I'm showing up whenever and wherever I can, but I'm just not getting attraction. Shelby, remind me of what your niche is. Maternity, newborn, and family. This has never been an issue before, though. I've never hit my minimum monthly goal in 4 years of business, but I normally have at least one booking. Okay, so you've not changed anything up. You're still showing up, doing the things, getting yourself out there. When's the last time you did a model call? 2 weeks ago. How many people did you have? Okay. Oh, that's a bummer. Um, okay, what if you did, do you have a client closet, Shelby? Yes. Okay, so something that Brooke does that is not like a model call, but it's specific to like moms, is to model her client closet. So, what if you only tailored that model call to moms, moms of all sizes to come and model my client closet? And then from there, for everyone that shows up, you then like promote yourself as here is my availability for XYZ. Make sure that in that model call, you're looking for moms that are pregnant, moms that are just moms, obviously they've already had their babies, and then maybe those that are just mom and dad right now. Does that make sense? See if that will get you a little bit better traction and maybe more of your ideal client. and be and then be like super specific on what you want on the model call promo. You know what I mean? That way maybe you can vet out some of those people that aren't your ideal client. Does that make sense? Okay. Realist Productions, that's what you're showing up as on my Zoom. Give me your name, darling, so I'm not calling you that.
Sorry, I don't know why it showed up like
It's
that.
good. It's good.
It's Karime.
Okay, Karime, does that help you as well? Because you said you're feeling the same way.
Yes, but I don't have a model closet.
Okay, so is your niche the same?
My niche is weddings.
Weddings.
Weddings and couples, yeah. Like quinceañeras. Like
Weddings.
if I were to get
Okay.
a quinceañera client closet, it'd be hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Right,
So
absolutely. Okay, what if you did just a couples model call? Like, have you done a model call?
yes, I have.
Okay. How did that work for you?
It worked out good. There are some clients that like even became my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not like my ideal client. Usually they're very like cheap. Very, very cheap.
Okay.
Like I'll
Okay.
promise them a couple photos and then I'm like, hey, you can buy a couple more. And then they're like,
Mm,
no, we're good with this. Like, and I'm like, okay,
okay.
well, I just put in a lot of work and spent, hours with you. So give me at least
Right.
10 bucks, like,
Yeah.
you know.
No, I agree. Okay. Are you sharing regularly, like putting yourself out there? Are
I
you in
just
the
started sharing regularly and I actually
Mhm.
go to like networking meetings on
Okay.
like Thursdays and I'm trying to do like 2 on Thursday and maybe 1 on Friday
Okay.
per week.
Hmm.
I've gotten a couple from those networking meetings because they don't really have a lot of photographers, but I think I need to work on like maybe my pitch for that because there's different businesses, in that networking meeting. It's not photographers all the time. It's just like, I don't know, like AC or other things, which I mean, I do have, but
Yeah.
we have like, I don't know, they have like window tinting and stuff like that. So like, they're not like my ideal client.
Uh-huh.
Um, Sometimes we do some branding shoots for them,
Mhm.
but, we get money where it comes.
Okay. So I think my question is, do you have business cards?
I do.
Okay, and you're handing those out at these
Yes.
networking events? Okay, and
Yes.
then on your business card, are they optimized, like how to get a hold of you, how to follow you, how to
Yeah.
all of those
It has
things?
a QR code and everything.
Okay, perfect.
So emails and phone numbers.
But you said you just started showing up regularly, like on social. Is that yes?
Yes. Just recently I started like with a month thing
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
with the whole, I don't know what to call it, challenge. I started showing up a little bit more. I was
Mm-hmm.
doing something a little different with reels because my uncle likes to make those and he was like
Uh-huh,
encouraging me to make those.
uh-huh.
Um, but it's like, I don't know, really hard because I don't get like that much views from people with
Okay.
anything or likes.
Make sure that you are when you're sharing it, make sure you're specifically targeting who you're sharing it to. So if it is for the quince, you may want to target that towards the mom versus the person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Um, and then that's what Nina's saying too. That's what I was going to get to is the networking things is be super specific in your pitch or how you're relating what you do to people because they may not be your client, but they know your client. Like I said earlier
Yeah.
to Kate, like everybody knows somebody, right? So make sure you're being super specific in that ask. Nina also says that she can help because she did this for 12 years. It looks like she's got lots of experience. So maybe you two should connect with that. But if you just started regularly sharing with the month in May, keep doing it to gain some
Okay.
traction.
Oh
And
yeah,
just see what
BNI.
happens. Yeah. And just see what happens there. Do you have a email list? Do you have like a private Facebook group for your
I
past
have private
clients?
Facebook Oh, no, not that.
No. Okay.
No.
So I was just thinking you could reach out to older clients, right? And then just ask them for another booking, or do you know anybody that is, and then plug it in XYZ, whatever it is, and then ask them to connect you with their people as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Does that help a little bit?
A little bit.
A little bit. I know. I wish I could just be like, here's 15 bookings for you, but I don't have that magic wand. Just keep pushing, and I would reach out to past clients and just say, hey, um, did you say you have an email list? Because that's how I would do it.
I
I would just,
don't.
you don't have an email list. Okay,
Mm-mm.
so you could, I guess I would just email them then, reach out to them and say, hey, I'm currently booking for, give them like 2 months, you know what I mean? And I'm wondering if you know anybody that is either getting married, getting engaged, whatever it may be, and just see if they can make some connections for you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And then, okay, so Nina says she also is wondering if you have photography on your business cards because as a client she may be confused with the name. Yeah.
No, we do. We do both. We do photography and videography.
Okay. Okay.
So that's
Awesome.
why the name is like very, it's not like, oh, Kareem made photography, because it's not like I just specific photography.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Nina.
So would you think it'd be like good to separate them both?
Me. Hey, so
Oh,
what I was
she's frozen.
talking
She's
about, but so I talk about BNI, but I do the chamber stuff too. And what they talk about in BNI is just whatever you're doing. So you might even just put like or something like that to show that they connect a camera with you. Is your Facebook just the Realist Productions?
It says Realist Productions, Weddings and Couples. So, yes.
Okay. Um, I might just add, you know, because when people are typing, obviously our coach here knows more about SEO. That's why I'm here, because I don't understand SEO very much. But I just know like it's really powerful to have what as either like a your card or in the name, so that they remember and associate. Because otherwise, it takes people, I think it's like 21 times in person to associate like what you're saying with you. So make it easier on yourself and like put or carry your camera with you at the networking events. That's another really good way for people just to associate you.
okay. I think I got the bulk of what she's saying is basically just make sure that they are associating more than the videography so that they're associating both photography and the videography. For me as a non-photographer, I can see that in weddings all day long because to me they go together, right? Couples, I can see it with quinces too, honestly. Couples, maybe not so much. But make sure that you're tying in the photography side of things with it. If that makes sense. And then she was saying at your networking events, like maybe carry your camera with you or something like that so that they tie your name to, oh, photography. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. Okay. So there's a couple of ideas. Always, if you're still not clear, take it to the Facebook group itself and just ask the question because I promise you, you're not the only videographer slash photographer in there. So somebody's gonna have some better ideas on how to make the connection for your people. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Anybody else? My allergies are kicking my rear. Nobody else? Shelby, you planning that client closet model call? I love it. So I find it interesting that Amanda brought up Brooke is scaling back. Um, I'm actually ramping up, but I'm doing it strategically. So I plan on launching something in the fall. So I'm ramping up like my visibility, and I have a tendency to be like really consistent for like 2 weeks and then I just like fall off the globe because I'm just like over it. So what I have been doing and what's really working for me lately is instead of trying to plan 2 weeks to a month ahead of time, I'm only planning 1 week ahead of time. So I sit down on Friday after I close out client stuff and I plan out the next week and I schedule it. As soon as I plan it out, I schedule it. So all of this week is taken care of. It's done. And I'm only posting 3 times, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then moving forward. I'm not doing, I have no, please don't do as I am doing. I have no plan for my stories whatsoever. I have found that when I just show up randomly, I do better with stories than if I like try to plan it out. On Monday, I'm going to talk about this. On Tuesday, I'm going to talk about this. I'm better off just, today my son peed in the woods at baseball practice, whatever it may be. I'm just going to come on and talk about it. You know what I mean? So that is what I am doing, but I am only planning out 1 week and it seems to be helping me be more consistent. Now, something else that I'm doing is um, I'm hiring a strategist to come in and sit down with me for an hour every month. And that is because I want to ramp up my email list again. Because here's what I also do with my email list. I do really good at first and I'll send out like one email, every week. And then all of a sudden, again, I just drop off the map, but it's like months at a time. So then when I pop back up, they're like, oh, this chick still exists? So I'm meeting with someone so that I can take what I'm planning out a week ahead and put that into an email. So then my emails can also be planned out ahead. So maybe that will help with you guys. It's just kind of taking some of the pressure off of me a little bit. So Shelby says she plans out her week every Monday. Also from Brooke's challenge, she realized that Fridays are terrible for her engagement. Yes, absolutely. That is so important. When you do like one of those monthly challenges or you set out to do something new like I'm doing right now, I'm taking note of like, okay, Mondays are for me, so maybe I can move to a Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like take note of that for yourself. It's super important. Amanda says, do you only post on one platform? I only post on Instagram. I hate Facebook business pages. I think that they're trash. So I don't even bother. I don't have a Facebook group, and LinkedIn, I don't know. I just can't connect over there for some reason. It's not that I can't connect with people. It's like I personally can't. It's boring to me. LinkedIn is boring to me. And I think I'm too old for TikTok. So Instagram is where I'm at. That's where I stay. And I post a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And basically, so what I did, something else that was super helpful, is I went into Canva and I created a grid. So like a made up grid, right? And when I create the post, I put it here so that I know what it's going to look like moving forward. And then that's also how I know like when my reel is going to be. So for me, it's like graphic, 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 reel, graphic, 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 reel, right? And so that is how I do it. Yes, Shelby, I know. Plan only is like, I know. I've been there, but here's what happens to my brain. When I have this one open and this one open and this one open, I then get nothing done because now I'm overwhelmed with way too much. So I try to keep it to Canva so I can just open this up and open this up. Shelby says you're not too old. You're so sweet, but I feel like I am. Like I downloaded TikTok And I think I was there maybe a day before I deleted it because I was like, I don't know what's happening over here. I just could not. So it went bye-bye. Um, okay, so maybe that will help you guys. If you guys want to see like that grid, like what I'm looking at, you guys, I'm happy to share my screen there. Nina says that's how she feels about TikTok. She's not sure her clients are there. Yeah, absolutely. And she says that's the only reason she's on Facebook because that's where her clients are. I absolutely know that my clients are not on, okay, not on Facebook. I shouldn't say that they're not on Facebook. They're not on Facebook doing business things. If any of my clients are on Facebook, they're there personally or hosting their own Facebook groups. They're not looking for anyone. You know what I mean? I truly believe my people are on Instagram. Um, and probably the majority of my ideal clients also feel the same way I feel about TikTok. They're either too old or they just don't have time to learn a new platform. So Amanda says she repurposes her reels for TikTok, but she's not seeing great results, so she's just trying it out till the end of the year and then calling it. I love that. I love that. Yeah, you actually have to don't get on for 24 hours and be like Courtney and just get right back off. Like you have to give it time to pick up and get started. Shelby says it's funny because her clients are on TikTok, just not scrolling, not actually making, oh, they are scrolling, they're not actually making videos. Oh, but you had to consider starting TikTok so they could scroll and see you.
When I said that my clients,
Uh-huh.
sorry, when I say my clients are on TikTok, I guess first of all, and I don't have years of TikTok history, so I know that goes. But when I look at where my bookings are coming from, because I ask them on,
Oh, Nina, we lost you. So, Shelby, are you using TikTok then? You're good.
I haven't.
Mhm.
I mean, I dabbled in it like for maybe a day,
Uh-huh.
but I was thinking about it yesterday and I was thinking
Mhm.
maybe I would start incorporating it and kind of do what Amanda does and just repurpose what I'm already doing.
Mhm. Yeah, that's what I would start out with. I wouldn't reinvent the wheel just for TikTok. Start out repurposing, and then if it kicks off, switch your focus. Go to just TikTok and then leave Instagram over here on the back burner.
Right.
100%. Nina says her internet, bless it. I totally get it. She asked them on a survey where they found her, and 93% of them are Facebook. Oh my goodness, look at that baby. Yes, that's always good too. When you are booking your clients, either the onboard form or after when you're asking for that testimonial, make sure you're asking them where you're finding them because that helps you know where you need to spend your time. If you're not getting any clients off of Instagram and you're not getting any clients on TikTok, why are you wasting your time over there? Right? Pour all of you into where the majority of your clients are coming from. And I get that, like, well, I might get one or two from Instagram. I get that. But until you're like consistent with the one place, don't try to overwhelm yourself with multiple places. Um, like I said, I have just went right to Instagram because it just seems to be where I can consistently keep up with things. Nina says she uses IG to build relationships. Yeah, through her Instagram stories, and then she's working on Reels. Absolutely, stories are a great place to build your relationships. Um, okay, so we have about 10 more minutes. If anybody has any questions, wants any feedback, anything like that, let me know. Otherwise, we'll spend this last few minutes together just kind of planning everything out. um, let me see. How do you find keywords to use while posting? Okay, so there are a couple of websites you can use for this. Here's what I do. I don't use these websites. I go I go to Instagram and I search whatever it is. South Carolina photography. I'm just gonna throw that out there. That's so broad. But I search that and I see how reels are doing, posts are doing, and I go from there. Make sure that your keywords are also simple, right? So based on your niche. So Amanda would use a lot of family, newborn, maternity, those types of things. Um, Also searching, hang on. Uber Suggest, yep, is one. Yeah, Amanda says she uses that for blogs and websites. Yep, and you can also use that for social as well. Pinterest is also a great one. I use it just like my social media. I go to the top, I search, and then based on results, I go from there. There's also one called Keyword. Hang on, ladies. Keyword pool. So it is, let me pull up this for you. I'm going to drop that in the chat. This one, you can use this as well to search for things. And Shelby said keywords everywhere. Yeah. And just remember, don't like bombard. There's something to be said for keywords. Don't bombard your stuff with your keywords. Sprinkle them in. Like think of them like the sprinkles on top of your ice cream. You don't want them to just be everything because then it's going to work against you. I wanted to show you guys this. Okay, so here is what my grid on Canva looks. So it's much like Shelby said, only, but I just set it up and you can search it inside of the templates on Instagram and it automatically just pulls this up. And then I just plug in what I'm going to do. So all of these without text are where my reels are going to go. That way I know what my plan looks like. It also kind of helps me know that like my grid is pretty how I want it, right? If that's not your thing, don't do that. Some people say that that's outdated, but I like my grid to look cohesive. So that is what mine looks like. And then, like I said, so now this will be Friday's reel, and then I will start over. So just come down here and plug them in. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes. And there are tons of things to use. Shelby mentioned Planoly. You can use Canva. I think Later does it now. I'm sure you could probably create your own. Like there's so many options to do it, but that way you can just kind of see your plan. It also allows for flexibility, right? Like if you're like, oh, today's not a good day to talk about this, let me move it over here. You can do that too. Anybody else? Nina, did that help with keywords? To give you a couple of options to search for them. I also don't sleep on hashtags, you guys. I still search hashtags too. I don't spend as much time on it as I did, 3 years ago when they were super relevant, I guess, but I do still do hashtag research. They still do matter. Okay, we've got 5 minutes. Anybody? Amanda.
So if you're doing hashtags, right, going off of
Uh-huh.
what you said,
Uh-huh.
I've been doing them on Instagram. Facebook never seemed to care, so I don't do them on Facebook. But so I've been putting anywhere from like 7 to 10 because I know it used to, I don't know if it still does, but I know it used to penalize you if you did the full 30 or whatever, you could like maximize it and so I just don't do that anymore. How do you, I guess, go about planning? Because I know it used to be you had to be within a certain range of your follower count.
Okay.
Is that still a thing? I knew it had to be, it was similar to like the keyword, you know, thing. Like if it was too big, you would never show up. If it was too small, no one
Yes.
would search you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
and I was
So
assume it's something.
I try to keep, so the way that I do mine, I search them on Instagram, but for me, I find it easier to do it from Meta, which is going to be like the only thing Meta provides me that I actually enjoy.
I hate
But
Meta.
when I go to schedule my stuff, I schedule it through Meta.
Me
And
too.
then when you go to schedule it and you go to type in hashtags, it gives you like recently used, saved, and like search. So most of the time I just cycle through my recently used.
Sure.
But every now and again I will go to that search just to see if there's like something I've missed or a new one. I like to keep mine between like 2,000 and like the highest I'll go is like 350,000.
Okay.
I'm probably not going to be seen on that 350,000, but I give it a broad spectrum just on the off chance that like, hey, maybe this is the one that's going to go viral. You know what I mean? Um, so that is my thought. Typically 1 million and over, you're not going to be seen because that's typically flooding with posts like all the time. So there, keep that as you will. I know like back in the day, again, when hashtags were super relevant, everybody was like, create a custom hashtag and like all of these
Yeah.
things. And unless, here's the deal with the create a custom hashtag. Unless you're training your audience to also use that custom hashtag, you're never going to be seen, you know?
Mhm. Bless you. Bless you.
So you're never going to be seen because it's just going to be you in that shows up in that search. So, you know, unless you put that hashtag like on a business card, you know what I mean? Like hashtag whatever,
Yeah.
then they can search it.
Yeah.
But I typically I go from about 11 to 20 and I just kind of like keep it within that range.
Okay.
Back in the day I used all 30 and then it was like some expert came out with it was like 7 to 11 and then I just keep it between 11 and 20 and it really depends on the post.
Yeah.
If it is a very business driven online business management style post, I make sure I'm using those hashtags plus like my mom hashtags, right?
Yeah.
If it's just like a mom related post, then mostly just mama and I just keep it
Yeah.
kind of low. Um, so that is my input on the hashtags, but don't, and in terms of like keywords and what you're searching, don't sleep on them because they're still very much so easy to find and all of the things.
Well, because when you're searching whatever in the top, you have all those little categories that pop up. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that they're categorizing them, because they just took topics away for me, at least on my Instagram reels. You don't put topics anymore on your reels.
Yeah.
Or no, they were called topics. You could choose three and you like whatever. So
Yeah.
it's gone. And so it was like, well, how the heck are you going to search them? And apparently now Instagram will read whatever you put on your reel as long as you've written it within the Instagram like
Yeah.
uh app. Sorry, their
Yes,
creator
yes.
suite or whatever.
As long as it's native to Instagram.
Exactly.
Hmm.
But if it's not, then
Um,
they won't search it. And so, or they won't read it. They can't read it. So I was like, oh my God. So now I have to actually create it in Instagram, which is a whole new, really terrible thing all of itself. But
yeah, so I actually never went off of Instagram to create my reels for that reason. Because I
yeah,
was like, at some point, Instagram's gonna say
yeah,
this has to be done here. And some people will tell you that it doesn't matter if you create them in InShot, if you create them in CapCut. Some people will tell you it doesn't matter.
yeah.
Um,
Just a
Again,
minute.
to me, it's trial and error. I think it's a huge trial and error thing, but I have always created my reels inside the Instagram app. Um, Note, don't save them to draft and then log out because then you'll lose them all
Yep, did that.
later. Yeah, it's such a bummer. I always save them to my camera roll now so that if I
Yes.
do log out, then at least I have it there and it's not so hard to recreate. So that's my thought on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions? We have one more minute. I hope this was helpful. Remember that there is no content planning session in June or July. We will be back in August. Um, As always, if you have questions, post them in the Facebook group. We are here to help you, as is your community. And we will miss you guys too, but we figured it's nice for everybody to just kind of have a break and do what we got to do. All right. I will talk to you guys soon. Okay. Drop it in the Facebook group if you need to. I'll send out an email with this replay later today. All right. Bye, guys.